Hey everybody, great Tuesday to you. How you doing? Welcome to Zenny62, of course. Okay, you, well, I'm going to say you should know who Giuliani is because she is one of the Clark County commissioners. She's also running for governor of Nevada. She has also been a critic of the stadium deal. On the one hand, wanting the deal, but on the other hand, wanting to make absolutely certain that nothing is goes beyond the parameters that were set. You know, only 750 million, 39% of the total cost is to be borne by the public and no more, that sort of thing, okay? She's been a big proponent for more funding for teachers, among other social welfare issues. Now, she submitted a letter to the Las Vegas Stadium Authority on March 1st. That letter barely saw the light of day. I didn't see it in the agenda link. I didn't see a link to it at all. So I contacted Commissioner Giunchigliani's office, and they were kind enough to send me this letter. I have now posted it, but I want to read to you what it says and show you what it says because it has not been completely reported at all. Here is the letter. I'm going to right there. Okay, there it is. And see, it's March 1st. It's to applied analysis. Dear committee members, I apologize for not being able to attend, but please accept this letter for the record of public comment. I would appreciate it if these points could be read into the record. And then she goes on to state that, as I've said in the past, you were approved to build here. I want you to be successful, but not at the continued expense of the public beyond the $750 million taxpayer funding. My testimony will instead be one of questions to be answered or expanded upon. Please bear with me. The background materials on the link did not exactly follow the agenda, so I will try to comment in an orderly manner. It says here 11. She's referring to the agenda item 11 at the time. This speaks to a finding that the developer partner has demonstrated the ability to develop and construct as required in Section 29.1C3, referring to the Nevada Senate Bill. 12 speaks to adequate financial security for performance of financial obligations. The bill required $100 million investment up front for the county to consider the bonding component. Has this expenditure been made, or is it included in the bond? I would submit that I hope it didn't include simply a performance bond of several million to show good faith. The full $100 million was to be up front. She's absolutely right about that. She goes on, it appears the minority hiring is moving well, but where are the commitments to supporting our community nonprofits financially? Ooh. The non-relocation agreement gives me concern, especially Section 4.9 targeted tax. This was dropped just at the end of the past meeting. It specifically says that this agreement ties the hands of any government within Nevada to consider a targeted tax which does not even exist in state law. It ties the hands of elected officials, and I don't think it's enforceable. That said, the authority already doesn't pay property tax. And now the infrastructure appears to be passed on to our constituents, talking about the infrastructure cost. The county is also responsible for making sure services are in place in the vicinity around the stadium site: water, sewer, utilities, drainage, traffic mitigation, and parking. The access ramps and Nevada Department of Transportation project also come at the expense of the taxpayers. Statewide and other local improvements are being moved down, and around to move up this project. I remind you of the midnight $899 million fiscal note that was ignored at the special session. And she's talking about when the Nevada legislature approved the Raiders deal to begin with on October 16th of 2016. Then she goes on, Bank of America is the party to guarantee funds. My understanding is it's a commercial loan which usually charges between 5 and 6 to 6%. Has this been factored into the ability to pay off the loan, especially if the room taxes continues downward? The county must be prudent and only bond for the amount that we believe can be paid back, not what your financial recommendations say. Their motivation is different. We must protect our bond rating, not to mention taxpayers. Other concerns still have to deal with why this site was picked versus several others that had adequate space for parking, ingress and egress, and true economic development. Also, it is at the end of the strip, which doesn't benefit directly other hotel properties and can cause additional congestion and air pollution in the corridor. I hope ticket holders have been surveyed to see if they would walk over 1.5 miles on a pedestrian bridge. Their experience must be taken into consideration. Finally, as to leasing or purchasing other parking locations, my biggest concern is whether the Bali High property is still under consideration as suggested by the co-chair and others. We are being sued by the federal government for the lease, especially since fair market value was ignored and the Bureau of Land Management, Airport, Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act, nor the county have benefited from this property. If any lease or purchase were entered into, none of those benefited, but the windfall would go to the lessee, who has been sentenced to prison. I urge you not to enter into an agreement, especially since we are involved in a lawsuit. Thank you for your attention to this weighty agenda, and I wish you luck. I will listen to the tape so I can see if answers were given. Signed, Giunchigliani, Vice Chair. There you go.